Like Hurricanes Richard and Earl that ripped through the Belize Zoo in 2010 and 2016 respectively, last week, Hurricane Lisa caused significant damage to a lot of the infrastructure in place at the facility for the 150 animals on display.
There wasn't a single pathway in the zoo that was clear. We have over a mile of pathway and every single one of them was covered in vegetation. We would say close to, I would say more than 75% of the vegetation was touched in some way, either branches brought down or leaves, or going up the scale, more significant damage where you had full-on breakage of trunks and trees uprooted all throughout the zoo and its immediate buffer. And of course, significant damage to some of the animal habitats as well. Their living spaces get damaged, but they themselves are fine.
The animals had to be secured inside safer enclosures and buildings off the exhibit area. Trees were uprooted right next to their shelters. Thankfully, though, none of them got hurt. But the experience that the hurricane brought might mean that some of them will need rehabilitation before they are put back on display again.
For instance, if you want to medicate an animal, we don't have to restrain anymore. They can just,
Yes.
freely give you a hand and you
Yes.
can inject.
Okay.
It's probably going to have to start all over. This have probably changed everything. We have the spider monkeys. In the morning, they're released in the large habitat where there's enough space. In the evening time, they will come in, and that is where we feed them. That's where we do head counts, and that is not happening. So what we do is we do sort of giving them food, change the water, but it's not the normal thing for them.
Umberto Wallers is the general curator at the Belize Zoo. He explained that protecting the animals from the hurricane is pretty much like effecting a family's hurricane plan.
We assigned different locations to safeguard the animals. One is what we call the quarantine area, 2 inside the clinic, and 3 we have other concrete buildings where we could say it's very safe for animals like jaguars, pumas. And so those we could say were already planned with the experience of the past hurricanes.
The zoo's staff, along with hired teams with technical expertise and specialized tools, has been cleaning and restoring the facility since last Thursday. But Conservation Program Manager Jamal Angerin Bone says that the degree of damage and debris that the hurricane left in its wake will result in several more weeks of work.
Every manager and staff that works at the zoo is still reporting to work, even though we're close to the public. It's just that rather than having, as you say, the different, the tourism aspect, the education aspect, everybody's doing manual labor now. So trading in the castile, for example, for a machete and a claw to clean. So that will be the norm for the next few weeks until it is back in a place where we can welcome the public.
The length of time of that closure has dug significantly into the facility's revenues.
It's cutting into all the programs we were just restoring post-pandemic, our educational programs, our expansion of the animal habitats, our trainings for staff. So it now forces us to shift into not only those day-to-day expenses, you still have to pay utilities, you still have to feed the animals, pay the staff, but now there are additional expenses being incurred with just making the zoo back to what it once was.
But the zoo has managed to still wow its supporters through its Facebook page. And that is also the medium through which it has been asking for help. The caretakers hope that your empathy towards the ambassadors they look after continues, and their needs are many.
We're very much open and eager and welcoming in-kind donations in the form of food for the animals, right? That's what most people want to attribute their efforts to. But yes, other building materials, construction materials, wood, that sort of thing, we would have need for fencing and so on.
When Lisa made landfall last Wednesday, the zoo was in the process of preparing upgrades to offer the public more. Bone says those surprises are still things you can look forward to upon the zoo's reopening.
There were several very beloved animals that were either getting a new habitat on the zoo grounds or getting an upgrade.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.